Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Planty video. I am Jess if you're new here, and I make Planty videos here on YouTube. So today I am doing a little bit of a fun video and I'm quite looking forward to it actually. So I was sat here looking at my plants as you do when it's summer and they are thriving. And I was thinking, I was trying to remember what they were like, sort of when I got them, or like a few years ago. And I thought it'd be really fun to look back on old photos of some of my plants and see what they look like today. And I have already found the photos and I'm actually really surprised with some of them. Didn't realise they'd grown that much. Crazy. So I thought I'd bring you all along, and yeah, so I'm going to look at the old photos. I will put them up here somewhere so you guys can check out how they used to look, and I will let you know when that photo was taken and how long I'd had that plant then. And yeah, I think it'll be quite fun. So to start off, I think I am going to show you my Ficus fiddle-leaf fig, which is a bambino version. It's so it's a small leaf version. So this is what it looked like when I got it, and I think this wasn't long. I hadn't had it long at all. I think I just situated it where I wanted it at the time. And this was the 7th of September 2019, so 2 years ago almost, and it's getting quite long now. It looks a bit funky. I will grab it and show you what it looks like now. So this is what she looks like now. She's actually a bit big to get in the shot. There you go. So yeah, she's quite big and she's actually doing quite well. This leaf is looking like it's about to keel over, but all in all she's doing really well. She does actually probably need repotting, but I know these don't mind being a bit root bound, so I've left her and she really needs dusting. But yeah, she's doing really well and I could not believe how small she was when I got her. I was quite shocked. Yeah, this is the bambino version, so it is smaller, the leaves don't get as big. And they seem to be a bit more compact, I found. But in my old house, the leaves were getting, in my flat, the leaves were getting really small. They were kind of like this. As soon as I moved here back in May, so 2-3 months ago, the leaves are slowly getting bigger, and I'm really happy with that. And the move, she dropped about 5 leaves, but I thought it was going to be so much worse than that, because you know what ficus are like. They're a bit dramatic when you move them, but she actually seems to prefer this house. I don't know why. But yeah, this one's doing so well and I still can't believe how much it's grown. It's crazy when you look back at photos because you just forget. Yes, I love this plant. I love her. She's getting a bit heavy on the top. So the next one is I'm going to have to go get this one because she's a bit big now. So this is my Marble Queen pothos. So this is what she looked like, and this was what it looked like in January 2020, so almost a year and a half ago now. And I remember I got this plant from my dad for Christmas, so I actually got it in December. This is probably a couple of weeks later. And I remember thinking this plant was huge when I got it. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, it's so big. Because usually when I buy pothos, they're usually only just sort of rooted up sort of thing. And I love this plant, I thought it was so big, and I will grab it now. I'm so happy with how big it's gotten. So we're not going to be able to get her all in the shot, but can we just appreciate this? Like, she's so big And it's amazing as well because I've cut this back twice as well, which is crazy, which actually is the same sort of situation as the ficus. The leaves were getting really small, they were getting like this, and I thought I'm just going to cut it and encourage it to get bigger leaves, hopefully, and it did. Like, look at the size of the leaves now compared with how they were before. It's getting quite heavy, but I just can't. I love this plant. This is one of my favourites in my collection just because it's so big. I've her cascading down the fridge and she just looks beautiful, and like, she looks big like this, but just how all of her vines are really curled over, so when you stretch them out, she's actually like so much longer. But I love this plant. This is my favourite. I would 100% recommend this plant to anybody. Pothos do grow really quick. I mean, well, this one does, and I know the golden pothos grows really fast. There are some that I found don't, like my neon pothos, which I was going to show in this, but I couldn't actually find a photo of it when I first bought it. It's not really done in anything else. So some of them are fast growers, some of them are not. This one definitely is. I mean, I'm on a pruning strike with this now. I'm just going to let it grow really long and just see how long it gets. But it's gorgeous. I love you. So next up is another vining plant. This is one of my Monstera adansonii. I'm showing 2 in this collection. I have got about 3 or 4, but I'm only showing 2 in this collection. So this is what this one looked like before. This photo was taken April 2020. So over a year ago now. I remember I got this for my birthday and it was quite small. It was pretty much just cuttings, just starting to put out new growth and vining, but not really, like, as you can tell, it's just very, very small. This is what it looks like now. So I think, yeah, you should be able to see. So this is what it looks like now. Obviously, she's looking sad, I know. But this wasn't the case. So if you've just watched my last video, you saw me cut this back. This is what it looked like a couple of weeks ago. And if you watched my last video, you'd know, but I'll just recap for those who haven't. So this plant, as you can see, was so nice and long. It was only 2 vines, but I liked that, and it was so long, so beautiful, and it had quite big leaves on it as well. But I went on holiday for like a week, and I didn't have anybody to come and water my plants. So obviously we know what adansonii are like. They're very dramatic with their watering. Half of it was yellow, so from like the stem up here all the way down, it was probably 7 leaves on each vine were just yellow, and obviously there's no coming back from that. And I just thought, let's just cut it back, it's the best thing for it. I've got a ton of cuttings. I've probably got about 30 wet sticks and probably about maybe 20 or more than 20 like leaf cuttings propagating. So I have cut this back. I'm just going to leave it to its devices, and then this really needs potting up into a bigger pot, really. Roots are starting to come out the bottom, but I'm leaving it until all of my leaf propagations are all rooted up, and then I'm going to pot them all back up into the same one and hopefully get a nice full plant. These are such fast growers. If you want a fast grower, I would recommend. It grows so fast. I mean, I've had that just over a year and it got that long. That one as well, I'd also cut back twice, 3 times. So yeah, they're fast growers. I'd completely recommend if you really wanted a fast grower. So as we were talking about Monstera adansonii, I'm going to show you the next one. So this plant I had 4 altogether. I got gifted 2 on my birthday one year, and I already had 2. So then I had 4. So this one, they were really small at this point. They were only just sort of vining, but it was 1 or 2 leaves that had come out of the cuttings. And I planted these 2 up in one pot around a moss pole. So this is what it looked like when I first put it in the moss pole. And as you can see, there's not really anything to start vining onto the moss pole. It's quite small. This is what it looks like now. Look, it's so... I was shocked, absolutely shocked. I cannot tell you, because I keep looking at this and thinking, why are you not like further up yet? Like, I'm sure you've not grown. And I saw this photo and I was like, oh hell, you have grown. You've definitely grown. And she's just so beautiful, it's so full. And it's not actually that long until she's to the top. And actually, I didn't let you know when that photo was. So, this is the best part. This was back in February this year. So that's only 4 or 5 months. And it's done this. And this is what I mean by they are fast growers. Yeah, it's just crazy. And with moss poles, I'm not great at keeping them moist at the best of times. And at the moment it's really hot and they just keep drying out. So not really attaching to the moss pole. The roots are kind of going along it, but they're not sticking. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be converting all my moss pole plants onto wood, just because I'm useless at keeping the moss sort of wet in there. So hopefully it will love that and it will have another growth spurt, because as soon as they feel something that they can attach onto, they start going mad. So I love this plant. She's so gorgeous. I can't wait for it to be to the top of the moss pole and these leaves to start maturing properly, because these are gorgeous when the leaves get huge. So next up is my Philodendron Brazil. So this is what it looked like when I got it. This was back in June 2020, so 13 months ago now. I bought this from Lidl or somewhere and it was literally cuttings. It hadn't started growing from cuttings yet. It didn't have any new growth. You could just tell it was just cuttings in there. They were really well rooted, but nothing had started growing yet. So this is what it looks like now. And I know it looks really, really pathetic. I know compared to that photo it's a year, but this, if you watch my videos, you'll know this guy rotted on me and it was almost not quite enough to save it. So this has been fully chopped back at the beginning of spring, and this is the new growth from that. So it is quite impressive. I'll insert another photo of how it looked. Let me just check to see. So this photo was from January this year, and this was a few months before it got rot. So it'd grown quite a lot in that time. That's less than a year. It's probably like 9 months. No, not even 9 months. 6, 7 months. So really, like, it is done quite well, really. These are really fast growers. I love this plant, and it is giving me so many like fully variegated leaves with like the tiniest bit of green on, and when the leaves first come, they're like this gorgeous, I don't even know how to describe it, it's like a peach colour. They're beautiful. I do love this plant. I'm so glad I saved it. Quite a lot of the vines didn't survive, but at least I've got this. I just love this plant. It's beautiful. I love vining plants. All Philodendron, pothos, Cactus, Monstera, any sort of vining plant I adore. So next up we are going to be looking at my Monstera deliciosa. So, I drank my tea before it starts getting cold because I always end up forgetting about it. So, my Monstera deliciosa, if you watch my videos normally, you'd know about this. But, so this is a photo of, I'm probably going to insert two here just because the photos, this is going back quite far now, so the photos are a bit dodgy, I'm not going to lie. The days where I used to put loads of weird filters on there, and yeah, just not great photos all in all. So this was back in my second year of uni, and this, I'd had it for about a year by this point. This is the earliest photo I can find of it. This was September 2017. So that's four years ago. By this point, I'd already had a year, so the plant now is 5 years old. So this is how small it was when I got it. It was so cute and small. I absolutely loved it. And then, yeah, it's just gorgeous. I love this plant, and I just bought this from Home Base. If you're in the UK, you know about Home Base. And yeah, I love this plant, and I'm now going to insert, very dramatic about my Monstera. So I'll now insert a picture of how it looked a few months ago. So this is how it looked a few months ago. It was gorgeous. It was so beautiful, and it started to get like massive leaves, as you can see. Like, oh, that leaf, I couldn't, it's so beautiful. But I then moved and it had a moment. I don't know why, it just croaked on me, or it was on the way to doing it. All the leaves just started dying off, and I just didn't know what to do, and it just, everything I tried just wasn't doing, and it just didn't seem to. My camera died, I don't know where it cut off, but, so, what was I saying? So, I remember. So, it didn't really acclimatise to the house, it didn't like the trip. It was like a 3-hour journey in the back of a van. It just obviously didn't like it. Didn't acclimatise to the house very well at first, and the only solution was to just cut it back because I didn't want to risk like losing the whole plant and that massive leaf it put out a few months before. So I propagated, and it looks very sad now compared to that picture, and it makes me really sad, but I know it's for the best. It means I won't lose it. So this is what it looks like now. I'm going to go grab it. So this is what it looks like now. So this is the pot it's in, and it's all a bit funky, just very leggy. It's got 3 vines, one's just new, it's popped out. So this is what it is, and I've cut it back to this. And then I've got 2 lots of cuttings from it as well, and when the cuttings are rooted up properly, I'm going to pot them all back into the same pot again. Give the main plant some nice fresh soil, and hopefully it will be okay. I have got a big attachment to this plant. It's one of my oldest. I mean, I did start collecting houseplants a lot further before this, but it was mostly cacti and succulents I used to be in. I used to collect so many, and this was like my first journey into sort of jungle plants. This is the plant that really got me into them, and like tropical plants, and obviously now I'm obsessed. But yeah, I have got a big attachment to this plant, so yes, it does make me really sad that it's cut back, but I know it's for the better because I probably would have lost it otherwise. But I will also grab the cuttings so you can see what I've cut back from it. So these are the cuttings. Please ignore the manky ass water. I really need to change that. But it's actually, oh my god, I've not really looked at this, but it's given me quite a lot of roots on one. What about this one? Oh no. The one with the big leaf has not given me one root yet. She's concerning me a little bit, but we'll deal with that later. So yes, these are my cuttings. So this is that really big leaf. This is not looking very happy, to be honest. Don't really know what is up with you. I don't know. Anyway, this is the these are the cuttings, and I will pot them back up in the same one when they're all rooted. But yeah, this plant makes me sad. Let's move on to the next one. So sticking to Monstera deliciosa again, we are going to be looking at my my Monstera deliciosa variegata. So this is what it looked like when I got the plant. This was back on the 29th of June 2020, so about 13 months ago now. Bought this plant as a cutting. As you can see, it was unrooted. It was a top cutting, and this is like my first really expensive plant I bought. And I was wanting this plant for so long, and I didn't have it, and I so wanted it, and I just sort of splashed out, bought myself a plant. So yeah, this one is 13 months old now, and it didn't do anything for quite a while, to be honest. It's not until a couple of months ago it actually started doing stuff for me. And I'm very happy. It was very cute now. I will show you what it looks like now. So this is what it looks like now, and I don't know why it's growing sideways. I don't know, but these are the two original leaves. As you can see, a lot of it, as you can see on this original photo, a lot of it's very, very white, and as you know, that's not really going to survive. And it's not really. Like this whole chunk's crisped off, like this bit is as well. But these are old leaves, and I'm not really that fussed about it. You know, it is what it is. But look at these new leaves. These have come out in the last few months. This one was just before I moved, so it's probably about oh god, I thought it was for a thrip. It's fine, there's no thrips. So this one came out about 5 months ago now, and this one literally in the last couple of weeks. It's not really hardened off properly yet, so I try not to touch it too much, but look how bloody gorgeous that is. Like, I can't. Oh, it's so, I love it. I can't wait until it starts giving me bigger leaves. I did have a bit of drama with this. I potted it up, and I don't know if anybody else does this, but when you get like a new plant, which you know you've wanted for a very long time, you tend to overcare for it, and it's probably the worst thing you can do. And that's what I did with this. I tried to be extra with the soil mix, and there was no need for it. I gave it a terracotta pot, which I don't pot any of my plants in terracotta. So that was probably a mistake as well. And it had some sort of pest in the soil as well. I don't know what they were like soil mites or something. And it was just not doing anything, and it wasn't looking happy. And it looked like it was going to put a leaf out for ages. And it just didn't. And then I noticed that the leaf like inside of the stem was like rotting, so I had to like do surgery on it and remove it from inside the stem, so obviously it didn't rot all the way down. It was really weird because the roots were fine, everything was fine, it was just the leaf that was inside of the stem, not unfurled yet, had rotted, and obviously I needed to take it out because I didn't want it to spread down to the rest of the plant. I cut it all off and it was fine, which is really bizarre to me, really really bizarre. But yeah, it was fine and it's doing so well now. I put it in a plastic pot, which all my other plants are in. I don't know why I did terracotta, it just seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, I put it in a plastic pot now. I put it in like a normal soil mix, give it fresh soil, and then it started giving me stuff. So note to anybody, if you're gonna buy like your first wish list plant, just don't over care for it, just look after it exactly the same as your other plants. That's what I do with mine now, and it's now started growing and thriving for me. I think sometimes it's best to ignore them and just let them do their thing instead of like over caring for them. I love this one. Okay, so I'm going to do the last two now, which are cacti. So I am going to obviously ignore the state of the photo. This was a very long time ago. I think I was still in school. And it's an awful photo, but it's the only photo I can find of this cactus from like when I first got it. But yes, ignore it, and yeah, ignore all of my stuff everywhere. Just ignore the photo and just look at the plant. So this is cactus, and this photo. So I'm going to insert the photo. This is the photo. This is back from 2015. So this is like 6-7 years ago. I think I'd had this plant for a little while by this point, but this is like the earliest photo I can find. So it's very small, and it's this guy here. Look how big it has gotten. Obviously, it's very hard to get in the shot because it's a bit big, you know. But it's so huge, and I love it. I'm going to stand up and show you the whole thing now because it is gorgeous. So this is, oh, where am I pointing? So this is the guy. I mean, look, huge. I love this because it's like blue, and my camera will not focus, but it's like this bluey colour. It's like dusty. If you touch it, it like comes off, but it's just, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So in the photo, it was, oh, where was it? It was about here. That's how tall it was. It was cut off at this point. So from here to the top is how much it has grown since that photo. So that's like 5 years growth. Oh, it's insane. And I'm sorry, I can't remember what this cactus is called. I'm not very good with cactus names. I will have a look and put it down below. I can't remember what it is for anyone who wants it, but I love this plant. It is so beautiful. It's one of my oldest. And yeah, I'm never going to get rid of this one. I had quite a lot of other quite big cactuses, but I ended up getting rid of them. I had about 3 more recently, which I got rid of when I moved, just because they were too big. But this is sort of my biggest, and I will never get rid of it because I love it so much. So my final plant. This is, I don't have a photo. Don't have an actual photo of this plant. I don't really know why. I just don't. So I'm inserting a little clip here. I'll insert of when I first got it, and this one was one I think I was most shocked about. Well, apart from this one as well, I couldn't believe this. But I don't remember this plant being this small when I got it. I was quite like, what? And I think because I don't really have any photos of it when I first got it, I had to really search for this video, like right back in my camera roll. But this is August 2020, so this is literally about 12 months ago now. And this is the plant. So it is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. And it's not really going to get in the shot, just about, so it stops like here. But yeah, so this is how much it's grown. It is a single vine, and now it's started to put out another one from like under the soil, which is really cool. And if you watched my video last week, my plant chores sort of video vlog, I've taken some cuttings from this as well, and one of them had rooted up enough so I could plant it in there, so it has got another one now, which is kind of just chilling. But yeah, I can't believe how much this has grown. Like, this is such a fast grower. Again, like another plant, if you are looking for something that's really fast growing and easy to care for, like, I get this because it's so fast. I can't believe it, especially because I've cut this back as well in the last 12 months. Yeah, and it can be a bit funny with its watering, but once you get the hang of it, it's fine. You just gotta keep an eye on it. But yeah, it's just huge. And this is another one. Don't know whether I'm gonna put it on a bit of wood. I might convert this to wood because it's on a moss pot at the moment. But I'm not going to really extend this because it's just growing fine, and like the stems are really thick, so they kind of hold themselves up. Where it is, it's going to be growing against the wall, so I might just let it lean up against the wall. This one I want to get growing huge. I've seen people where they have them growing all the way up the wall and they look incredible, so that is the vibe I'm going to be going for. So yeah, I hope this one grows really nice and tall. I think it's gonna. And like, I seem to remember this growing loads even throughout winter. It was slower, but it was still putting out leaves, which is incredible, really. Especially because in winter I was in my flat then, and my flat was cold, really cold. So it is quite impressive, really, that it was still growing in those conditions. But yes, so that is all I'm going to show you for today. I could have showed you probably triple the amount of that, but this has already been quite a long video because I tend to ramble in videos. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I always love looking on like Instagram and on people's YouTube channels and like seeing people's growth, because I think it's so interesting to watch other people's plants, see how they're growing compared to yours, or like plants that you want. I think it's good to see how they grow as well, because you might want your plants to grow really big. You might not want them to be like that. You might want them to stay small and compact and not grow as fast. It's up to you, and like up to your environment, up to where you're living, all of that jazz. So yeah, I always love watching these videos, so I hope you guys do too. If you did enjoy this video, consider liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, all that jazz, and follow my Instagram as well if you want more planty content. And yeah, so guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye!